Hello, comrades. Today I'm going to be reading an audio book and doing my commentary of a speech delivered by Chairman Mao Tse-tung titled Serve the People from September 8th, 1944. This speech was delivered by Comrade Mao Tse-tung at a memorial meeting for Comrade Cheng Su-te held by departments directly under the Central Committee of the Communist Party of China. Now I'll begin the audiobook. Our Communist Party and the 8th Route and new 4th Armies led by our party are battalions of the Revolution. These battalions of ours are wholly dedicated to the liberation of the people and work entirely in the people's interests. Comrade Cheng Su-te was in the ranks of these battalions. All men must die, but death can vary in its significance. The ancient Chinese writer Sima Qian said, quote, "Though death befalls all men alike, it may be weightier than Mount Tai or lighter than a feather." End quote. To die for the people is weightier than Mount Tai, but to work for the fascists and die for the exploiters and oppressors is lighter than a feather. Comrade Cheng Su-te died for the people, and his death is indeed weightier than Mount Tai. If we have shortcomings, we are not afraid to have them pointed out and criticized, because we serve the people. Anyone, no matter who, may point out our shortcomings. If he is right, we will correct them. If what he proposes will benefit the people, we will act upon it. The idea of, quote, better troops and simpler administration was put forward by Mr. Li Ting-ming, who is not a communist. He made a good suggestion which is of benefit to the people, and we have adopted it. If, in the interests of the people, we persist in doing what is right and correct what is wrong, our ranks will surely thrive. We hail from all corners of the country and have joined together for a common revolutionary objective. And we need the vast majority of the people with us on the road to this objective. Today, we already lead base areas with a population of 91 million, but this is not enough. To liberate the whole of the nation, more are needed. In times of difficulty, we must not lose sight of our achievements, must see the bright future, and must pluck up our courage. The Chinese people are suffering. It is our duty to save them, and we must exert ourselves in struggle. Wherever there is struggle, there is sacrifice, and death is a common occurrence. But we have the interests of the people and the sufferings of the great majority at heart. And when we die for the people, it is a worthy death. Nevertheless, we should do our best to avoid unnecessary sacrifices. Our cadres must show concern for every soldier, and all people in the revolutionary ranks must care for each other, must love and help each other. From now on, when anyone in our ranks who has done some useful work dies, be he soldier or cook, we should have a funeral ceremony and memorial meeting in his honor. This should become the rule, and it should be introduced among the people as well. When someone dies in a village, let a memorial meeting be held. In this way, we express our mourning for the dead and unite all the people. That's the end of his speech. Now I'm going to read the notes by Marxist.org. Number 1, Comrade Cheng Su-te was a soldier in the Guards Regiment of the Central Committee of the Chinese Communist Party, a member of the Communist Party who loyally served the interests of the people. He joined the revolution in 1933 and took part in the Long March and was wounded in service. On September 5, 1944, when making charcoal in the mountains of Ansai County, northern Shenxi, he was killed by a sudden collapse of a kiln. Number 2, Sima Qian, the famous Chinese historian of the 2nd century BC, was the author of the historical records. The quotation comes from his reply to Zhen Shaoxing's letter. And then number 3, Li Ting-ming, an enlightened landlord of the northern Shenxi province, was at one time elected vice chairman of the Shenxi Kangsu Ningxia border region government. And number 4, this was the total population of the Shenxi Kangsu Ningxia border region and all other liberated areas in northern, central, and southern China. And now I'm going to give my commentary on this work. Okay, so first of all, Mao explains how if we die in service to the people, then our death is heavier than a mountain. If we die in service of the enemy, such as fascists, imperialist cops, etc., then our death is lighter than a feather. And we must strive to make it so that when we die, our death is heavier than a mountain. We must live our lives to make sure that when we die, our death is heavier than a mountain and not lighter than a feather. Mao points out that we must accept criticism and expose our shortcomings because we serve the people. If we are criticized correctly but don't accept the criticism and we do not work to change our faults, then how can we say we actually serve the people? That's just going directly against the interests of the people to not grow from criticisms and not accept valid criticisms. Um, even if non-communists have, even non-communists can have good suggestions and have correct critiques. So even if you're criticized by someone who is not a communist, you should not simply dismiss this criticism. You should still understand that it can be correct, such as the example Mao gave. And then if we continue to correct errors and do what is right, the movement will surely thrive. That's what Mao is saying. So obviously if we're constantly criticizing and self-criticizing and growing from these criticisms, then our movement will just be more and more refined and a better and better movement, which means that it will likely thrive. And then we also must have the masses on our side, as Mao is saying. He was talking about how they lead base areas with populations of 91 million, but then he says it's not enough. So obviously we need the broad masses on our side. Yeah. And then Mao says that in times of difficulty, we must remember our achievements and look forward to the bright future. So we must never let ourselves be discouraged about the prospects of socialism and the liberation of the people. And so we must have revolutionary optimism. Then Mao points out that wherever there is struggle, there is sacrifice, and death is common. And as such, we must be prepared for said sacrifice. We should also avoid unnecessary sacrifices. We should not be going out doing crazy things to thinking like, oh, I'm prepared for sacrifices. We have to be pragmatic about it. We can't just charge ahead blindly. But we still have to be prepared for sacrifices. We should not be timid and afraid, but we should also not be brash and rush blindly into things. We have to find the middle ground. Be prepared for sacrifices, but avoid unnecessary sacrifices. And Mao says cadres must care for, love, and help each other, and we should celebrate those who have served the people and done useful work, no matter what it is. Everyone has a different role in the revolution, like cooks, soldiers, etc. So even if you're like not in the front lines waging like People's War or something, even if you're not doing anything all that like seemingly revolutionary, but you're still serving the people and helping the revolution, you are still contributing to the revolution, being a revolutionary, and you should be applauded for that, even if you're not doing like all the flashy stereotypical revolutionary stuff. But the people who also do the stereotypical revolutionary stuff, they also should be applauded for their actions. So yeah, there's different roles in the revolution. The revolution could not work without all of these roles. If it was just people like waging protracted People's War or something like that, it's not exactly going to, you can't exactly work like that. You need various different roles, and they should all be applauded. And we should bring this idea out to the people who are not cadres as well. So yeah, Mao talks about how we should, for instance, when he says, when someone dies in a village, let a memorial meeting be held. In this way, we express our mourning for the dead and unite all the people. So we should also bring this idea to people who aren't necessarily cadres of the party or revolutionaries or anything like that, because like he says, it unites the people and it shows that we actually do care about the people. It's a great way of expressing our deep care for the people. And then this speech shows the essence of the goals of communists, which, of course, the essence, I'd say the heart of communism is serving the people. This is something we should always keep in mind, is that we must serve the people. We must orient ourselves in service of the people. And it also dispels false ideas, such as the idea that communists only care about power and simply are using their theories to manipulate the people so that they can get into power, which I've heard before, which is foolish. The actions of communists show that this is not true. The speeches and theory of communists, such as this, show this is not true. The goal of communists is, of course, to serve the people. Now, I mean, some communists might just be in it to prop themselves up. Like, obviously, there are some people who, in pretty much any movement, who are simply in it to leech off of it and gain power and prestige. But those people aren't like truly invested in the goals of communism. They're invested in individualist goals of themselves, which is opposed to communism. But anyone who truly believes in communism believes in serving the people and helping them, and so on. And so, yeah, that's about all I have for this. Just remember, serve the people, and yeah, solidarity, comrades.